When you drive through the streets of Watts, words like technology and innovation don't come to mind. In a community that seems run down and outdated from an outsider's perspective, I wondered how my students at Locke High School were interacting with technology. Have you ever heard of Khan Academy?
No.
Have you ever heard of Sharkeisha?
Yes.
Okay. Khan Academy is an educational website. Sharkeisha is a viral video of a girl assaulting another girl. This response shows students accessing technology but are unaware of the academic tools and resources available to them. This made me ask the question, are students gaining the necessary skills in technology?
And I really feel like we are missing the mark on that. Most of my kids don't know how to type. If they do type, it's one letter at a time. Kids don't know how to use an email. They don't know how to create resumes or anything like that. So me requiring them to type up a paper would be obscene, and I would not get any work back, which is devastating, especially for college-bound students. They need to know those things. I personally don't use any research topics or research-based papers in my class because I don't have access to a computer lab where my students can learn how to research. I also don't have a library on this campus. There are 0 reference books for my disposal. And even if we did do research, there's nowhere for them to type their papers up. From what I've heard by my students, they don't have computers at home. They all have smartphones, but in terms of research or typing or anything like that, I have no idea how they would have access to those kind of resources.
The common denominator is a lack of desktop operating system fluency. You know, I think the SBAC pilot testing was a big wake-up call just because, you know, we realized that kids didn't know how to capitalize the first letter of their name. They didn't know how to press shift. I would say overall the computer literacy is not super high, and if the kids do have tech literacy, it's usually with mobile technology.
So while students lack the necessary computer skills, they are interacting with technology through their smartphones daily. This raises the question of what role the cell phone is playing in the classroom.
In my experience, cell phone use is a distraction. I get a lot of, and pardon my French, crotch texting, which is when students do the secretive text while I'm trying to teach. That happens, I'd say, at least 5 or 6 times every class period that I have to stop my teaching in order to address that concern. I'm not going to say that our students are worse than any other student in America. Cell phones, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these social media networks are so huge right now that our kids are addicted to those platforms. I think the difference would be that our kids don't necessarily have the cell phone etiquette. We're talking a group of kids who'd probably pick up a phone in the movie theater and have a full-on conversation.
A girl with her music at full blast through her earbuds try and looking through Facebook. The teacher told her to turn it off, tried to tell her to put it away, she didn't listen, and then it kind of escalated a little where she just started yelling at the teacher.
The use of cell phones has created a massive problem at Locke. This year alone, the school had over 640 reported incidents involving electronic devices. This correlates with students missing valuable education time and poses the question, how can you change a distraction into a tool?
I'm not gonna lie, I use my phone in class only for reasons if I'm done with my work or I can't really do anything. That uses less advantage of education for the phone, so that we just use it for different reasons.
I understand the difference between an app on an iPad, which is okay, and an app on a cell phone, which is the same thing, just a smaller screen. You know, why we're going to make a big deal about the student having it out. When those policies were made, the cell phone had 2 uses, 1 to talk and 2 to text messages, and none of those are beneficial for, you know, educational purposes. But now you got a lot of different type of adaptive devices that you can download and put on an iPad or a phone, and you know, it really helps the students out. A lot of the stuff that they learn is visual because they have auditory processing problems, so they have trouble understanding what things are said. But if they see it and they see it done, then they can usually do it. So a lot of times, you know, I think that the technology with the phones and the iPads, I think, is beneficial for the community of the kids that we teach.
A way to leverage mobile technology. I've been looking at a lot of things. There's Student response, I think, is a good way to leverage it, you know, through Socrative, Clicker. A lot of Desmos is a much better graphing calculator than anything offered. A lot of the video analysis in Verdier suite are compatible with mobile devices too. So I think as long as the phone is used constantly, you won't have problems with kids like checking Instagram or their texts or what have you.
So I think if we were to integrate that kind of technology into our classes, we'd have to spend a lot of time making rules and making sure that they understood social norms regarding that technology.
In a community where technologic literacy is scarce, it is vital that we as educators leverage our students' use of smartphones and turn the distraction into a tool.
For technology, you have to put technology with technology, which is like hardware versus with software mixed together to make it more exciting in a way. Maybe so exciting that people would just look up from their phones